You've probably seen the promise online. Log into a new tool and suddenly compress a 5-hour workday into 30 minutes. The natural reaction is anxiety. If everyone else is supposedly doing it, you feel the pressure to keep up, which usually leads to opening 6 different tabs and trying to learn a half-dozen platforms at the exact same time. But that approach ignores a hard reality. These tools are not magic. They demand a steep, upfront tax on your time, your focus, and the daily routines you already trust. This graph maps out the problem. The steep, smooth, upward line represents the marketing hype, the promise of instant, effortless results. But the bumpy, gradual curve below it reflects actual integration. Notice how it dips downward first. That is the learning curve you actually have to survive before you see a return on your time. When you try to adopt multiple systems at once, you multiply that initial dip. You disrupt your established workflow so severely that burnout becomes inevitable, and you end up abandoning the tools entirely. Strategic adoption requires identifying your single greatest operational bottleneck and absorbing the switching cost for the one tool built to fix it. To figure out which bottleneck to tackle first, we need to audit the top categories. We are looking at the required input, meaning setup time, the actual outcome, and the hidden trade-off you have to accept. We'll start with text engines. This matrix breaks down the evaluation. Input requires structuring prompts and consistently feeding the system high-quality context. In exchange, the outcome is massive, generating rapid drafts, deep research, and solving complex logic problems in seconds. But there is a hidden trade-off. Using an LLM shifts your daily role from writer to editor. You have to spend significant time fact-checking claims and heavily revising output to strip away that generic robotic tone. Let's look at the second row, organizational brains, like Notion AI. The setup input here is severe. You have to manually migrate years of fragmented notes, scattered calendar events, and isolated files into a single brand new ecosystem. Do that, and the outcome gives you automated project summaries and instantaneous data retrieval. But the trade-off is absolute. If you don't fully commit every piece of your data into that new ecosystem, the AI has nothing to analyze, rendering it useless. Both text and organizational tools offer immense operational leverage. To get it, you have to completely alter how you input, store, and verify your daily information. Now let's look at the tools built for asset creation, starting with visual generators like Canva AI and Midjourney. The input requires stepping away from traditional design software and mastering text-to-image prompting. The outcome allows people with zero formal design training to instantly scale up production for thumbnails, slide decks, and social media assets, but you trade away pixel-perfect control. If you aren't careful, you end up with visuals that look homogenized, or you waste an hour tweaking prompts just to fix a slightly warped background detail. Finally, AI coding copilots. The outcome is appealing. Non-programmers can build basic applications and automate tasks, but the trade-off is technical debt. If the AI generates a bug, a beginner lacks the knowledge to debug it, building fragile systems that break under pressure. These generators lower the technical barrier to entry for complex tasks, but they shift your primary responsibility away from manual creation and squarely onto rigorous quality assurance. Attempting to absorb the learning curve tax for all 4 categories at once creates enough friction to stall your actual work. To avoid that, this target audience matrix plots 3 distinct professional profiles to help you decide exactly where to begin. If you relate to the overwhelmed beginner, you should focus entirely on text engines. LLMs have the lowest switching cost and provide the highest immediate utility for general knowledge work. You can start getting daily value without overhauling your entire hard drive. If you fall under the budget-conscious creator, your starting point is visual generators. Creators face constant pressure to produce. Visual tools let you replace the external financial cost of hiring freelance designers with a much more manageable investment of your own time. Finally, there is the process optimizer. Your match is an organizational brain like Notion AI. Optimizers already have the underlying data organized. They just need leverage to connect the dots. If this is you, ignore the visual and coding tools entirely, unless they are your specific bottleneck. Your selection process has to be ruthlessly dictated by your current workflow block, rather than whatever platform is trending on your feed this week. That brings us to the one-tool implementation plan. Pick exactly one tool from that matrix that matches your current profile. Use that single tool every day for 30 consecutive days. Push through that initial friction dip we looked at earlier until using the tool feels like a natural habit. Do not layer a second AI tool into your workflow until the first one is completely frictionless. The measurable advantage comes from how deeply you embed a tool into your daily foundation, rather than how many platforms you casually test. 1 year from now, the professional advantage won't belong to the person who memorized the names of 50 different AI tools. It will belong to the person who deeply integrated just one.